Welcome to Tattoo Tabletop. My name is James, and today we are talking about the Orks. Why are we talking about the Orks? Because as of time of recording, which is Sunday, they are going on pre-order this Saturday. So I wanted to go over what they kind of look like on the pre-order side, and then also talk about some of their new rules and kind of giving us an idea of what we might be seeing in the future. Obviously, they are one of the first codexes, so realistically, we could be sitting in a completely different ballgame. But let's dive into it. So, new Codex, Orc Army rules get you riled up. So, they talk about how they had some look at the new data sheets and stuff like that, and we will pull that up here in a second. But here, let's actually do this. Well, we're going to start over here. We're going to start with the preview. So, Sunday preview, Orcs rampage in next week. So, the very first Codex is actually Orcs and not Space Marines. A lot of people did not see that coming, myself included. But based on how they've been talking about the models and stuff like that, it kind of seemed like this was going to be the case. So there it is, new Orc Codex. And there we already established that they're smaller. But the first one is packed with new rules, lore, and artwork to devour, including 15 detachments to mix and match, plus an expanded Awa army rule, which we will go over, and data sheets for over 50 units. I need to look at the numbers now, see what the comparison looks like. But I'm very, very interested. So, as you can see, it comes in this nice little slip case kind of situation here. Obviously, using the code to unlock all the stuff. Blah, 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 blah. There's a collector's edition. Is that the collector's edition? Plus green foil or the... Yeah. Admittedly, I don't think I'll probably get a collector's edition purely on the basis of the last couple that I've tried to. They've arrived damaged. So, a little problematic. But number one, who's up on the pre-order? Nazdrag. We already saw this model, saw some of his rules. He is brutal. He's a magnificent boy. I'm very excited to see him and see what he does on the table. As much as I would love to pick all this stuff up right off the get-go, I'm in a job transition, and I don't know that Orcs are going to be my focus. I played them for that last GT. I had a blast with them. Orcs are fun. I will definitely give them a try. But it won't be my main focus. So, Nazdrag, he's coming. Obviously, he's got his big thing. We got the new generic war boss. So now we get the different variant loadouts. There's one that has like a squig attached to his belt. Different custom shooter with a rocket launcher there. You got the power claw, which I think is now called like a crumpa or something like that, if I recall correctly. We can take a look. He can be armed with a custom choppa or power claw, custom combi shooter, all that stuff. So yeah, looks like you're going to be able to kit him out in a lot of fun ways. And hopefully you can actually use some of those spare pieces to build some other models and stuff like that, because that's always more fun when you can take the extra bits and use them in something. So I also forgot that we're getting a new mech. I completely spaced on that. I remember this model, but I just remember scrolling down and being like, wow, totally forgot about him. Fixing up the vehicles, I think that's actually going to be massive, depending on his rules. I think that'll be great, because battle wagons, kill rigs, all that stuff has been awesome. To see that guy come in looks great. Of course, we get the official new boys instead of the push to fit. I'll definitely be curious, because, yeah, obviously it's going to be with, your special weapons and stuff like that. But with 3 lucky boys, take a big shooter, rocket launcher, or burner for extra power, and then the knob. Getting the Killy Power Claw strapped to his arm. So that'll be kind of fun to see as well. I'm really curious to see how that kit builds. I push to fit as much grief as it gets. It does allow you to get a lot of stuff on the table very quickly. And hence why some people just pick up multiple starter boxes, especially edition launch boxes, because you can literally just use what's in that box twice and you've already got a great head start. They look great. Stoked for them. War Bikers. We finally got a kind of up close look. We really didn't see much with them before. They look great. They really do. You got your main leader there revving up, with a popped wheelie there and everything. But they look great. Really stoked to see new War Bikers. I have some old War Bikers in a box. I never built them. But I'm really excited to see how these guys shape out, and I'm really looking forward to the idea of a speed wall with Gutsmech and stuff like that. The new truck, again, I did a reaction to this before. The new truck looks okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I will say they did do a side-by-side comparison when they revealed it, and I will say it looks very in proportion with the old trucks, which I think is great. It'll make that feel less drastic between the two, so you can run multiples of them, and that way it just kind of feels like multiple orc vehicles kind of strapped all their stuff together, which I love. And I always love the little bits of, like, you know, little grots hanging off and stuff like that. But yep, so he's coming. So this is a new one. Warhammer 40k, 40,000 Orc Command Pack and Dice. So what is that? We've done cards before, we've done tokens before, but now you get all of the gaming accessories you could possibly need in one convenient package called a Command Pack. This invaluable companion for your Orcs army contains 94 reference cards covering all 15 detachments in the Codex, their detachment rules, enhancements, and stratagems, plus a set of 36 double-sided tokens for tracking various rules and statuses. Finish off your collection with a set of 16 premium dice cast in properly orky modeled green plastic with red pips with the faction logo for the red face. Really cool there. And then a couple of the Orc solo releases, the Banner Knob, the Pain Boy, the Big Boss, and the mech. Daka Mech. I can't remember his exact name right now. But that is really cool to see. And of course, you've got the War Track, and the Weird Boy, which is also great. So you got plenty of them coming out. Daka Rig is delayed in Japan and Korea. Japan and Korea. And the Weird Boy and War Pack are... Why are they so delayed in Japan? Weird. So, let's dive into some of the rules, but let's start with the data sheets, because I forgot to open up those. Let's start with the data sheets. Looking bigger and tougher. So, of course, I always love all the models just arrayed there. You do see a War Boss right there. He does look to be very different from even what they displayed on the pre-order. So that's actually really cool. That's going to have some nice variety to it. So first one up, Gazgul Raka. So number one, he's tough. He has gotten tougher. He's gotten more wounds. Specifically, though, he is also now, he runs solo. He does not attach, which is very interesting. He does have Lone Op, if I recall. Where is this thing? Because he's got Dabastawa. Yep. So while he's within 3 of other Orc infantry units, he has Lone Op. So he's going to be... The thing is, some people have talked about that he's going to be easier to kill because he's not in a big unit of 20 boys. And I'm inclined to agree. I will say, I think the only reason that that is the case is specifically because of the Defiler builds that we are seeing out there. CSM is not necessarily doing the greatest as far as all things are going. But when you have pieces like the Defiler and stuff like that, that are literally just I look at it and I pick it up. Something like Gazgul, he's going to have to rely on the Lone Op. So if there's something that can take out all the boys, he's going to lose a lot of his abilities. However, I will say he, in some ways, I think has also gotten an upgrade. Mork's Roar, point blank, close quarters, torrent, 2d6 plus do shots. So potentially up to 14 shots. Strength 6, -1/1. That's so good. Like, that really is. Like, you could legit... Like, he could literally just look down and just shoot something out of him. And that's kind of cool. Like, it... I don't know. I could... Terminators have great saves, but, I mean, depending on how many shots he rolled, that's insane. And then his Mork's Roar aimed has lethal hits, non-monster vehicle, rapid 4, so still potentially 16 shots, still ballistic skill 5, but, like, cool that he's got lethal hits. Adamantine Headbite. He's got a precision extra dev wound headbutt for weapon skill 2, so hits on 2, strength 14, -2 d3 plus. He could literally just headbutt a leader out. That is so funny to me. The Makari save is gone, but let's cover that also right now. Makari is saved. He hoists the banner, and all it does is in your movement phase, you can select a number of friendly Orc units equal to or less than the current battle round number. Those units are riled up until the start of the turn, which is a new term for the WA. Essentially means you can advance in charge, you get the invul, and blah, blah, blah. So Makari, instead of offering a save now, instead just gives you an opportunity to give some units WA, depending on how far you are into the game. And he does have a +1 to hit still, but he now has a +1 to wound, and it's within 6 for the melee attacks. Otherwise, Gork's Claw is still gross. 7 hits on 2, strength 14, -3, flat 4, and then cleave 2. So if he decides to swing into something a lot bigger, in terms of latest models, he's going to just cleave them, and he has dealt with dev wounds built into that as well. So 4 damage dev wounds, not bad. So obviously he's very Primarch-like now, is the way they describe it, as an Orc Primarch, and yeah, so definitely going to make some things very, very powerful for him. And then, of course, we have the boys data sheet. We've seen a lot of this. There is a lot of lethal hits across the board. Shootas now have lethal hits non-monster vehicle. So rapid 1. So within 9, 3 shots per 10 boys, 30 shots, 5s. Still no AP, but still a lot of shots, which is not bad. And also kind of crazy is in the fight phase, if they make a charge, they get lethal hits. So now Orc boys can just run in, get real fighty with their choppas, 3 attacks, strength 5 -1/1. That's great. That is going to make them very, very effective, and that's a lot of attacks. And then, of course, you can also use an ammo run to once per battle to give them a +1 to hit. So hitting on 4s, unless it's in cover. I mean, realistically, if you're shooting into cover, you're just fishing for lethals anyway. So nothing too crazy there. Burna, this is the big difference. Burna, 3 attacks. So we could see torrent weapons changing to a flat number with maybe blast or something like that, and that's what's going to affect how effective they are. It'll be interesting to see. This is the first codex we're getting out of 11th, so there's a decent chance that this is the case. To see that is very, very interesting, to say the least, but very, very interesting. And then, interestingly enough as well, being engaged does not prevent this unit from being able to start an action. That is crazy. That means you can just send boys in, know that you're going to lose a lot of them, and that you're still going to try and get some fights in, and then you're going to lose them, but then they're still going to do actions. That is wow. They do have a 5-up save. They are still T5. They're wound 1, except for the knob, who's wound 3, not 2, 3. So that is crazy as well. And then, of course, you can get a big chopper with cleave 2, which is great. So boys are looking really, really good. Some of the bigger weapons, like the Combi Scorcher, Combi Shooter, like this still has lethals, except on the burn parts. So it's going to be very interesting, to say the least, to see what they come up with. But I think boys, depending on their price, are still going to be a very, very cost-effective unit for the Orcs, especially because they can be engaged and still doing actions. I think that's going to give them a good leg up, especially when their codex hits. Here at Tattoo Tabletop, we have a lot of fun, so be sure to like, share, subscribe. It's all completely free, and it helps me out. And if you really want to help me out, come join our Patreon. Link is in the description, where you can come post and talk about your favorite minis. Now back to the video. All right, so another one, Tank Busters. Moving 6, T5. 4-up save, so they've still got some really beefy things. They can shoot something and then force a battle shock, which is pretty crazy. Tank busters are pretty popular. I still do not have any, but alas. So forcing a battle shock is just great, and especially at a flat -1. It's not even like if they're, by the way, if they're battle shocked already, they get a -1. No, you get a battle shock, and it is at -1, which is great. Bomb Squig, visible on a 3-up, goes boom. Pulsar Rocket. Once per battle per unit in your shooting phase, when this is unit selected to shoot, you can select one enemy monster vehicle within 24. If you do, that unit's attacks have +1 AP and lethal hits. That is great. Yeah, Rocket Boys and Tank Busters are still particularly terrifying. The rocket launches are still great. Ballistic skill 4 on them, so 5s in cover, but if they can navigate their way around cover, 4s, strength 10, strength 12, -2, flat 3, great shots. Absolutely great shots. And then even just being able to unlock lethals and an extra AP, it's going to make them particularly devastating. And then Smash a Hammer and stuff is still very, very good. But let's look at some knobs. That's wrong. Either way, the big boys themselves, 3 wounds a pop, 4-up save, T5, still looking great. A lot of the weapon profiles are looking the same here. But specifically, they can get out of the way, which is when making a charge, they can move through models, excluding monster vehicles. That's actually really great, because if you're charging through a screen and you roll a big charge and you can just bulldoze through, I mean, that even came up in a game I was playing today with my world leaders. I wanted to get to a vehicle, but the only way I could do it is by going around the enemy. These guys being able to just be like, oh yeah, screw your screen, and just moving straight through, that's going to be insane. Especially because they got custom chopper, custom crumpa. They got some good damage profile, damage 2, AP 2, strength 5 on the chopper, and strength 10 on the crumpa. So they got a lot of really good weapons there. And then you can do paired Krumpas, in which case you can reroll the hit and wound rolls, which is wild. You're likely not to miss there. So that makes them particularly strong. They also have an ammo runt, but the get out of the way, I think, is a really strong ability to have on the knobs. And then Killicans, unit target a unit that has no models with T7 +1. This unit's attacks that target a unit that has no models with a T7 plus have +1 to hit. Okay, so just kind of bullying things a little lower than that. Hitting on 4s, Cannon Blaster, they got some good stuff. Those are Killicans. But overall, looking great. Knobs being able to charge through screens, incredible. Tank Busters look solid, but boys being able to do actions even when they're engaged. I think 20 blocks are still going to be a great play, because now you're going to guarantee that, number one, they're going to be probably within range to do an action, more than likely that you're going to need to, and then also still be fighting, still be killing, still be doing their thing and living. The only thing that they got to worry about is still the battle shock, but at leadership 7+, it's not terrible. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the new rules. So the first part of the WA rule, rerolling advance moves, helping them get closer. So actually, well, here, just do this. Friendly Orc units, you're still calling you WA once per battle, per army. I imagine, unless you have bully boys. You get the WA and then you get riled up. What does riled up mean? Basically means they can reroll advance rolls. They become riled up, and riled up means you get a 5-up invuln, standard. Your range attacks get assault, so that's new. And then whenever a unit is selected to make an advance move that you did not make the advance move does not prevent them from being able to declare. So you get advance of charge, you get your 5-up invuln, and you get assault. So assault is the new one for it specifically, so that's for everything. So that's a lot of boys, that's a lot of shots, that's a lot of everything. A tide of 40 to 60 boys with shots, advancing and charging with assault and the 5-up invuln, that is going to be scary. That is already still scary, but that's going to be extra scary. Meganobs even get an extra bonus when they're riled up, where in the fight phase, if this unit is riled up, +1 to hit rolls. So they're going to be great paired next to if Gazgul needs to put them in it twice. So bully boys are going to look great on that half, but also I think if Gaz really, really, really wants to push these guys up, he can use the Makari plant on, round 3 or something, pick those 3 units, give it the boost, and really do some damage there. So that is great. Stompa. Okay, no joke. The Stompa looks super, super good. It's like, I'm a little annoyed because I just painted up my Gargantuan Orcs off, and I got a Stompa right back there, and I think I might need to paint him up for this. Moves 10, T14, 2-up save, 5-up invuln. 30 wounds, brackets at 10, 6 leadership, 12 OC. Big shooter, lethal hits. Again, non-monster, rapid 2, 5, 0, 1, whatever. Def Cannon and Super Rockets, blast 2, 72 inches, 12 attacks, hitting on 5s, strength 14, -3, d6 +2. 12 attacks with blast 2. It doesn't matter that it's 5s. Like, get 1 or 2 6s through and it doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't. Like, that's plenty of damage. Are you gonna miss completely sometimes? Absolutely, but the fact that you can even get that, and not to mention you do have the Titanic / Towering, so at some point you're gonna be able to get close enough to literally just like point that cannon down, plunging fire, and get a massive benefit there. Scorcha, Blast 2, Torrent, again, still kind of the same burner profile. The Super Gatler, aimed, lethal hits, non-monster vehicle, sustained 1, 30 attacks, hits on 5s, have strength 7, -2, 2. 30, have they ever put 30 just flat out? Like 30 attacks with sustained 1. That's so wild, but that's so funny. And you can even point blank it. You can torrent it at 12 inches, 3d6 +3 shots. Strength 7, oh my god, that's so gross. And then your Mega Cleaver has cleave, or your Mega Chopper has cleave 4. So for every weapon 3, strength 24. Because anything that's T14, screw that. You're wounding it on 2s. -4 AP, 10 damage flat. if your Stampa survives to get into something like an Imperial Knight or something, it is going to be so funny watching it die over this. Like, actually wild. I don't know that it will benefit a ton from the Clee 4, but also, good God, the amount of death. It's insane, and of course it can carry 22 of these things. Why wouldn't it? Because here's the other thing. This is the thing you have to factor in, though. It's equipped with 5 big shooters, so that's 15, and then rapid fire 2. So if you're in half range, you're getting an additional 10, so 25 shots. You get the 1 Def Cannon, the Mega Chopper, the 1 Scorcher, and the Super Gat. So you get all of this in this happy little package. And it's a 2-up save. You're going to get shot, and Stampas will die, but this is so wild. So that is absolutely insane. And riling it up and giving it like assault and everything is so silly. I really think this is going to be crazy. Multiple Ork characters, a way to rile up their comrades is a big swing for uselessness and Wah over several turns. That is a big change that I'm noticing, is that the Wah is not just a one and done kind of thing. There are ways to get your boys riled up. That sounds so weird. But there's a way to rile them up to get the Wah involved and to really help them out. So that's going to be insane. Yeah, it looks like they're really going to take a big step up. I mean, here's a lovely display of like some of the blue. I still need to do this. This is more of the darker blue. I love my Orks with the blue that I got, but Orks are looking so good. So what are my final thoughts? Well, Orks are good. They're already doing pretty good, and they're getting a book. And that book is looking to be fantastic. I'm really curious to see what's getting trimmed, what's not getting trimmed. I'm sure we'll hear more about that as we are going along. But I am very excited for the boys and for the Orks to have to be having their moment right now. It looks really, really good. I'm really excited to see Orks. For anybody who's got Orks, you got 2 weeks to really start painting, to really start going nuts and start building. Because when these boys drop, you're probably going to want to pick them up. But let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Of course, if you like this content, feel free to like, share, subscribe. But let me know what you think about the Orks. What do you think about the Codex? Do you think that it's going in the right direction? Do the changes to Gazgul kind of put you off Gazgul? Or do you still think he's probably worth it? I can see multiple war bosses going in here. I can still see weird boys, and pain boys are still going to be an absolute gas with this thing. But of course, we do have to see more data sheets. We do have to find out who's going in there, and comment down below. Give me the devil horns, or give me a thumbs up if you're hoping, like I am, that the Gargantuan Orc Squiggoth is still in that Codex. He's not Legends, and that he's making his way to a table. If we got a Stampa in there, you gotta keep the Gargantuan Orc Squiggoth to keep it alive. But until next time, the Orc Codex is coming, so you definitely have to go paint something.